Hey guys, Laura here. I'm the dietitian at Melbourne Athletic. First of all, thanks for everybody who voted on the poll yesterday on what topic you'd like to hear more about. It was a close call between the topics, but plant-based diets for performance came out on top. So let's get into it. Plant-based is an increasingly common term used among athletes and in the mainstream when referring to diet. Typically, I've found that when people say plant-based, they are most often meaning vegan or vegetarian diets. This is certainly the way that plant-based has been portrayed in the widely viewed Netflix documentary, The Game Changers, which saw tons of people, maybe even yourself, try their hand at a plant-based diet. The documentary was undoubtedly engaging and intriguing, but as many documentaries are, it was a tad sensationalised and led people to believe that plant-based was the key ingredient to unlock your athletic potential. Let's unpack some of the key claims made in favour of vegan or vegetarian diets for performance. It has been suggested that plant-based diets are superior for injury prevention and recovery, and this is because it is a typically an anti-inflammatory style of eating. While a dietary pattern high in intakes of fruit, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes is absolutely anti-inflammatory, these are all things that are routinely recommended in a healthy omnivorous diet pattern, and something that I definitely encourage more of with most people. So the benefits of these anti-inflammatory dietary components is seen in both plant-based and omnivorous diets, and definitely is not unique to plant-based eating alone. Another anti-inflammatory component in the diet is omega-3s, which also exhibit the same and positive effects. However, there are different types of omega-3s, which you may have heard of, called ALAs, EPAs, and DHAs. AHAs are found in plant sources like linseeds, walnuts, and chia seeds, while EPAs and DHAs are found in animal sources like salmon, eggs, and sardines. These omega-3s can be converted to one another in our bodies, but they don't readily do so. So for the best anti-inflammatory effects, it is ideal to get omega-3s from both animal sources and non-animal sources so that you are ensuring that you get all three different omega-3 types. Another nutritional component which is worth mentioning along the injury prevention and recovery line of thought is collagen and gelatin. The research in this area is starting to look super interesting in terms of recovery and prevention of tendon and ligament injuries, which are the most common occurring injury among athletes. Collagen and gelatin aren't actually found in any vegan or vegetarian sources. So if you are just eating a solely plant-based diet, you will miss out on this promising nutrient. Collagen and gelatin are protein sources, however, they're not the ideal protein source for building muscle. Which leads me to the next concept for contention in plant-based diets: protein and athletic performance. Firstly, it is absolutely true that you can meet your protein needs through a vegan or vegetarian diet. However, it is absolutely true that it requires good planning to make that happen from food alone. For athletes aiming for maximum muscle growth, the research shows that eating between 1.6 grams to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight of protein per day, spread evenly across at least 4 meals, is ideal. For a 75 kilo athlete, this is between 120 to 165 grams of protein per day. The average protein intake recorded among vegans is about 83 grams per day. So you can see that it will require a bit of strategic planning to meet these targets. The other thing to be mindful of is that most plant foods contain more carbohydrates and fats than they do protein, which can make it extremely difficult to meet high protein targets without blowing out your total energy intake. We know that the best quality protein sources in terms of muscle growth are from animal sources, as they are complete proteins with all the necessary amino acids. Plant-based sources have less complete amino acid profiles and require intake from various sources to optimize the amino acid intake. Including appropriate amounts of meat, chicken, fish, eggs, and dairy are the easiest ways to achieve sufficient high-quality protein intake. Instead of producing the science on this matter, game changers love to point to anecdotes of high-performing athletes thriving on plant-based diets, but they fail to highlight some important protein supplementation that was going on. And they also didn't elaborate on the fact that most elite athletes get assistance with planning their diets, and they often have physicians, dietitians, and even their own personal chefs on board to help them really nail this component. In terms of overall health, plant-based diets are often touted as being superior, and this is